What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. Holy smokers, guys, what a crazy March of 2020 that we had. Just absolutely crazy out there. I hope that you guys are safe and you guys are socially distancing so that we can move on in 2020 and hopefully have a better end to 2020 than what the beginning of 2020 has been so far. Unfortunately, the scammers out there, or what I like to call the pirates, are still out there putting phishing emails out there. They haven't caught coronavirus, so maybe somebody can send coronavirus their way and shut them down like the rest of the world seems to be shut down right now. So we got plenty to talk about today because of that. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 3 phishing emails of March of 2020, top 3 phishing scams. Like usual, I'm going to show you guys what they look like. I'm going to show you guys what happens if you fall for these phishing scams. And then most importantly, I'm going to show you guys how to detect these phishing scams so that you guys don't fall for these phishing scams. I come out with these videos each and every single month so that you guys can watch these every month and start to develop almost a vaccination from these phishing scams. The more you see this information, hopefully it solidifies in your head and you stop falling for these phishing scams. Phishing is one of the top ways that organizations and people get cybersecurity incidents, and I don't want you guys to fall for them and have a cybersecurity incident. So I hope you guys are learning a lot from these. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you're checking out all the previous videos that I posted on this before. I'll post links down below in the description. If you're not sure what phishing is, I got a video on that. I'll put a card up above and a link down below in the description as well. I hope you guys find this super beneficial. As always, leave a comment down below if you have anything to talk about in this video. I'd love to hear those. Alright, so the first phishing email that I'm reeling in for 2020 is helping fight coronavirus, of course. You got these 2 firms out there, Mobility Research Inc. and Folding Foam, I think that's how you say it, Folding at Foam, something like that. Basically, they got this application out there that they want you to download so that you can run this on your machine, and it helps run simulations that can help cure the coronavirus. So it sounds like great stuff. They sound like great organizations. I mean, who wouldn't want to cure the coronavirus in this terrible situation? We all want to get out of our houses and start living our normal lives, right? So you smash that download now button, and while you're waiting, you're smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And once you decide to install this application, after it's downloaded, congratulations, you just installed malware on your machine that could do whatever the F it wants to your system. Alright, so basically in this situation though, this specific malware is basically an info stealer application, so it's stealing any type of information that's valuable to the pirates, your passwords, your usernames, any data that you're typing in, login info, credit card info, all of that stuff, so that that pirate can use it to commit fraud against you and steal your money and your identity. Alright, so protections against this include, number 1, being aware of corona scams, being aware that there are so many corona scams that are out there that anytime you see a corona related email, you should automatically be thinking it's a scam, setting off those red flags in your head that, hey, this is more than likely a scam. So that's the number 1 tip in protecting yourself in this situation and all of these coronavirus related emails. I personally recommend, if you see a coronavirus related email that wants you to take an action, just delete it and move on with your life. But I understand there's some of you out there that really want to help out and see this as a perfect opportunity. So number 2, if you're going to do something like this, verify the legitimacy of the organizations that are sponsoring this email. Do a Google search on them, look them up on social media, things like that and verify that it's a legit organization. As you can see in this situation here, if you search this folding at foam on Google, you're going to very easily find that this is not a legit organization, because the only two results that come up are saying, hey, this is a virus or this is malware. So, hey, this one's an easy one. You just did the search and it tells you. But you're not going to get this in all cases. You're going to want to go through the news tab and see what the news organizations are saying about this, and making sure that there's legit news organizations that are talking about this organization. And then finally, if these organizations are looking legit, go to their actual homepage and take this action, and don't do it from the email, because the email can be pretending to be that organization. I always recommend never taking actions in an email unless you absolutely have to. All right, the number 2 phishing email that I'm reeling in is a fake quote. So for all you purchasing people out there, be aware of this. All right, so basically this organization or this person is pretending that they sent you a quote, you talked to them on the phone, they got this quote attached, you just have to open up the attached zip file to view the quote, right? So you want to see what this quote is, because let's say you're in purchasing or something like that, and you don't want to miss out on it, or you're just a curious person. So you open up the zip file, and then there's an HTML file inside of there, and you open that up, and you get to this Canon EOS R web page. So you're like, oh, I'm expecting a Canon EOS camera, or you're like, I never ordered anything like this or quoted this. Why am I getting this? So, of course, you're going to go down and you're going to click the download or the view button, and you have to download an executable file on top of that. You download the executable file, you run it, and then guess what? You didn't get a quote. You got malware that can do whatever the F it wants to your system. All right, so what can you do to help protect yourselves in this situation? Well, number 1, look at the sender in this email, conteo@brainsupport.com.br. I mean, first of all, if you're not dealing with a Brazilian company, well, this should be a huge red flag. The second part is a .com.br. That's a pretty weird extension for an email address, right? The number 2 thing, the subject of the email is misspelled. As you can see here, please quote. The number 3 thing, it's kind of weird that the body of the message has this symbol here. I don't know if they meant to put a colon or what, but it has this line after it at the end of it, which is pretty suspicious. And then the number 4 thing, and I think the really huge red flag, if you happen to start falling for this, is that it has a zip file attached to it for a quote. I mean, I've never gotten a quote that's legit, that makes you open a zip file. It's usually in a PDF or a Word document, and then it makes you take lots of steps to be able to open that quote. If you're thinking about logic from a salesperson here, they're going to want you to be able to open that quote as easily as possible, because the harder it is, the less likely they're going to make a sale. The only reason that you're going to get zip files and emails and have all these multiple steps to open a quote like this is because it helps bypass your email filters so that you can actually see that email and get that, and it lets the pirate get that malware through. So anytime you're seeing a zip file, or you have to do all these multiple steps to open up a quote, I can almost 100% guarantee that it is a scam. All right, and then the final phishing email scam that we're talking about in March that I'm reeling in is another coronavirus related scam. This one is super tricky if you're not paying attention. Basically, it's claiming to be from a clinic and that you came in contact with a friend or family member or somebody that has COVID-19. The clinic wants you to print out that attached form on this email and then immediately proceed to the nearest clinic because you want to get tested and make sure that you don't have coronavirus. All right, so at this point, you're probably freaked out. You go ahead and you click on that attachment because,
oh my gosh, I might have COVID-19.
All right, so then as you can see here, all you got to do is click that enable content button and you get that form and you're on your way to see if you have this dreaded thing. Well, congrats, you click that enable content button and you get malware on your machine that can do whatever the F it wants to your machine. I mean, hey, maybe that's not as bad as actually having corona, but hey, why not just prevent this in the first place and not fall for this and click on that enable content button? Alright, so how can you guys protect yourselves from falling for this situation? The first thing, like I talked about before, there are tons of coronavirus email scams that are out there. As soon as you see a coronavirus related email, ding, 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 you have red flags going off in your head. And then you should see that they're trying to use fear on you to get you to take an action. Anytime emotions are being used in an email, that should automatically set off red flags that, hey, this is probably a scam because they try to hijack you through your emotions. The number two thing, do you even recognize the sender or the clinic that's sending this to you? If you don't recognize it, why would a willy-nilly clinic even send this to you? It just doesn't make sense. Just like any email, if you don't recognize the sender or the organization, more than likely it's probably a scam. Alright, and then finally, number three, anytime you see the enable content button needed on an attachment where that's the only thing that you can do before you can see the attachment, that should be a huge red flag that the email is a scam, because if you click on that, you're almost always going to get malware put on your machine that can do whatever the F it wants to your machines. Do not ever click that enable content button unless you're 100% sure that you need to click that button. Alright, so I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Just keep in mind those coronavirus emails are out there like crazy. There's tons of them. So if you see a coronavirus related email, that should set off red flags. Me personally, I would just ignore them, toss them, get rid of them. But if you decide you want to pursue one of those emails, be extra cautious. Take the steps that we talked about in this video and my previous coronavirus video that I talked about earlier. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this content. Make sure that you're smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hitting that notification bell so that this content can get promoted out on YouTube so more people like you can see this content and help protect themselves from cybersecurity threats. I thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.